we're going to talk about your hair a little bit. Have you ever felt like your hair has been through some kind of a battle? Well, it probably has, and it goes through it every day. And today I want to talk to you about some ways you can protect your hair from heat, environmental stuff, even maybe the water coming out of your tap. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about the most obvious culprit, and that would be heat. I know we all love our shiny locks and our perfect curls and our sleek, straight hair that we get with our flat iron, but hot tools are probably, including blow dryers, are probably one of the biggest culprits to damage on your hair. Now, some people are not aware of this, and I was only made aware of it after a couple of years of doing hair, that hair begins to melt or deconstruct at only about 392 degrees. Now, we all know that our hot tools go up to 450, so imagine what that's doing. And I know a lot of you, don't even pretend like you're not, are cranking that baby up all the way. So some ways you can protect your hair is turn the heat down a little bit. You'd be surprised how much you can do with only 350 degrees. But because we're in a hurry, because we're late from work, because we're just impatient, or maybe a little ADHD like me, we take big, thick sections and try to crank up the heat and get it done faster. The smaller the section, the lower heat you need. So keep that in mind. Hair doesn't actually melt per se, like turn to a liquid, but the keratin that your hair is made of starts to break down pretty quickly. And time after time after time of using hot tools on your hair without protection or maybe too much heat can really cause some damage. I remember I had a client once and her hair was very damaged. And I kept telling her, it's your hot tools. And she kept telling me, no, it's always been like this. And I'm like, well, that doesn't mean it's not your hot tools. And she kept arguing with me. Well, she ended up and came in and got a full head of extensions. And the extensions I sell are very high quality, and most of my clients get a couple years out of them, if they're taking good care of them. She came back after 6 weeks, and her extensions looked exactly like her hair. And that's when I was finally able to get her to understand it was the hot tools doing it, because why would these brand new extensions look like her hair in only 6 weeks? And it was the hot tools. So I was finally able to get her to understand that that's what was happening. The other problem with hot tools is some of us have had these hot tools, and I'm talking to us Gen Xers and older. Some of us have had these hot tools for years and years and years. And back in the day, it was less normal to find a hot tool with a digital heat setting on it. You usually had low, medium, and high. And guess what everybody cranks it up to? High, because you want to get the most bang for your buck in the time you've got, right? Well, that setting is probably 450 or better. So throw those tools out or sit them on medium. But better yet, go buy a new tool and make sure it's got a digital temperature setting on it. Mostly they're such better anyway. Their heat stays more consistent because they're constantly reheating, and you don't have to sometimes if you use an older one, it'll kind of lose its umph after 3 or 4 passes, and you kind of got to let it sit and wait for it to heat back up and that kind of thing. The newer ones don't do that. I would suggest doing that. You can go to Ulta or Sally's. Hot Tools is a good brand. There's obviously more expensive ones, but just get something with a digital thermometer on it so you know exactly how much heat you're putting on your hair. Okay? Promise me. Promise me. Pinky swear. Okay. Okay, so what's the fix? The fix is a heat protectant. Now, I was talking with my daughter, who's also a stylist, and in her salon, they carry Surface products. And she was telling me that all their products, from the shampoos to the styling products, all include some kind of heat protectant. So that's great to know. So if you want to look up Surface products, they're available. I think they have a website, but they also do sell directly from the manufacturer on Amazon. So Surface products would be one you might want to look into. Great product line. Now, I've got a few of my favorites that I'm going to share. Now, this one's very popular. Everyone sees it everywhere. It's from Pureology. It's Color Fanatic 21 Benefits. It does all the things, Plus, it protects your hair up to that 450 degrees. Now, that doesn't mean you want to still crank it to 450 degrees, but this will help protect your hair. This is something you spray in like a leave-in conditioner on wet hair. Helps detangle, helps protect, does all the things. This is an all-around good option, okay? So this is probably the most popular one on the market. I use it in my salon. You'll see it everywhere, okay? This is available through your local hairstylist. I'm sorry I didn't check before I made this video to see if that Pureology actually sells on Amazon. I don't think they do, but your hairstylist will have it, and Ulta would probably have it. So those are two good places to get it. Now, the 21 benefits that I was just talking about is great for all hair types. It's really lightweight. It's not going to weigh the hair down. You don't even know it's there. So that's a great one for everybody. Now, I deal with a lot of curly clients and coarser hair and heavier hair. And so one of my favorites is the, it's kind of reflecting there, the Brazilian Blowout Smoothing Serum. Now, this is not a Brazilian Blowout. It doesn't have the same ingredients, nothing like, it's just one of their retail items that happen to have the same brand. This is great. It's a detangler. It's a heat protectant. It adds shine. It smooths out the frizz. And you put this on the hair when it's wet and blow dry it in. It's great. I love it. I use it on almost all my curly clients as a prep. And I also use it on people that have heavier or coarser hair because I just feel it works great for them. So there's that. Now, that Brazilian Blowout product I just mentioned, a lot of stylists are going to carry it. You can ask them. If they don't have it, they can probably get it for you. I do believe it's also available on Amazon through Brazilian Blowout. So that's the thing when you're buying items on Amazon, make sure that you're actually going to the brand store on Amazon. Don't buy it from, you can see where the stuff is being shipped from. It's being shipped from Amazon or it's being shipped from some name you've never heard of before. Pass it up. You don't know for sure where that's coming from. But a lot of these hairstyling products now that used to only be available in your salon are now available on Amazon right from the manufacturer. So just check to see where it's shipping from. Now, my third choice is, okay, you've got your hair blown out, you put in your hair protection. Now you want to go in and whip out that flat iron or the curling iron to do your finishing touches. There's several on the market that are for hot tool use. And that's because those ones you just put in, those are for the blow dry. Now you need something to protect your dry hair against the hot tools you're going to be using. One that I used to use all the time, I still think is a great product, is the one from Kenra. It's called Hot Spray. It comes in a silver little hourglass kind of shaped bottle. And it's, I believe it's part of their Platinum brand. Anyway, that one from Kenra is great, but it's kind of a little bit of a hairspray too, so it's got a little hold to it. So if you're looking for curls that are going to hold, that's a great one. Again, my daughter was telling me that Surface has one that's very similar to that spray. Again, has a little bit of hold to it. Now, I did a little research and was looking for the top rated hot sprays for using curling irons and flat irons. And the one that came up number one is the one by Bumble and Bumble. It's the Heat Shield Thermal Protectant Spray. Now, this is just a little travel size that I picked up at Ulta this morning because I wanted to show you what it looked like. I haven't used it yet. I'm excited to try it. But this is the number one rated one on Google. So it must have something good to say about it, right? So like again, I got this at Ulta. There are salons out there that carry it, but they only if they have Bumble and Bumble already. Bumble and Bumble is kind of a little hard to get into the salons unless you have their whole line. Anyway, so those are 3 protectants that you can use before you whip out the blow dryer and the hot tools to do the damage that we're all going to do, right? Okay, so let's talk about products. Now, I have to admit, before I became a hairstylist, I thought the stuff in the drugstore is the same as at the salon. It doesn't matter. It's all the same guru, and they're just trying to get money out of me. Well, that's not necessarily true. I actually spoke with a L'Oreal rep one time about it because I was sold on the fact that the L'Oreal I was buying at the grocery store was the same L'Oreal that I was buying at the salon. And it's not. L'Oreal's a good example because they have lines for both drugstore level and they have their professional brands that go in salons. And they explained to me that they are completely 2 different lines. The ingredients in the professional line that you would find at your salon are higher quality. There's more science put into it. They just wanted to have a less expensive line with cheaper product cheaper ingredients and things, less expensive ingredients and things that they could make available to everyone. But their professional brand is definitely a different caliber. And then after I started doing hair for a while and using some of the professional products, I realized that there was a difference. And here's the main difference. I mean, there's lots of differences, but we're going to talk about one today. It's product buildup. So a lot of the drugstore brands or stuff you pick up at the grocery store, because it's less expensive or less quality ingredients, they tend to build up on the hair. And this is what happens. It coats the hair, it feels great. Your hair feels soft, it feels shiny because it's got this coating on it, and it might be smoother or whatever. And then pretty soon you notice after a while, and when I say after a while, it could be a year. I'm not saying it's going to happen noticeably within a few weeks, but it could, but it probably won't. It builds up, and what happens is it stops letting things get into the hair that need to be there, like moisture. You'll find your hair kind of starts getting dry and maybe brittle or breaking than when it didn't used to. Things like that. Heat damage happens faster. Just kind of that kind of stuff. So that's the difference. Professional products are made that they won't build up on your hair, and so that a good washing takes care of it. Where a lot of times with the store products, even the shampoos you're using are building up on your hair. I guess that's what I really need to make clear. It's the shampoos and conditioners that you really need to watch out for, because if your hair's not getting thoroughly cleaned and stripped of all that extra product and shampoo buildup and conditioner buildup and stuff, that's when the damage starts to happen. It kind of chokes out your hair, kind of chokes it out, so it can't breathe and it can't get good stuff in. So if you absolutely love your drugstore brand and you're not going to listen to me and you're going to be stubborn like I was back in the day, then please get a good clarifying shampoo. Spend the money on one good clarifying shampoo, and about every third wash, use that and cleanse your hair very good. And hopefully that'll keep the buildup at bay. I can't promise it, but it should. Okay? So that's where I'm coming from on that. But I prefer that you get professional products. Talk to your stylist, see what they recommend for your hair. That's the other thing, is you can't just be a label reader, like, oh, this says for moisture, oh, this says for volume. Talk to your stylist. They know the products they sell better than anyone, and they can recommend something that's going to be perfect for you. And a lot of times they're willing to, trade something out if that's not working and give you something different or whatever, and work with you and get you something that's really going to work well. And you can be guaranteed that you're not going to have the issues you would have with, the lesser products. Now, I will say Ulta is one of the companies that will sell professional products, and you're safe to buy them there. If you see them at the Fred Meyer or at the Rite Aid or something like that, beware. Professional products are not supposed to be sold in those stores. We don't know where they come from. We don't know how they got there, and this is the story they're telling us. So just make a trip to Ulta, or better yet, support your local stylist, because you're not going to get any cheaper anywhere if it's the real deal than your stylist. I'm really a minimalist when it comes to products. I've never been one that has 500 different products on my counter. I use very little myself. So I always tell people, find one or two products that work for you. Don't be a jack of all trades when it comes to all the different products. And that's where your stylist comes in again, is finding what works for you. And usually when people come in and they're looking to, get something new or make a change, I'll tell them, well, what do you have now? And if it's something I approve of, I say, finish that up, and when that's almost gone, then we'll switch to something else, because there's no reason to have 10,000 products. It's going to end up getting old, because you want it when it's fresh. You want it when it's new. You don't want it to sit on your counter for 3 years and then pull it out and try to use it. It might not be the same quality. The only exception, I think, is our curly girls, because it takes them a while to find the cocktail that works for them. And honestly, out of all the curly girls I've done over the last decade, most of them have a cocktail of 2 to 3 products, and 9 times out of 10, they're 3 different brands. So that's okay. That's one that they get. The good thing also about the professional products is they're more concentrated. So yes, they cost more, but they're going to last you a little longer, because instead of using a whole handful of conditioner, you're just going to use maybe, a quarter circle in your hand. They just are way more concentrated, and they go a long ways. And to just throw something else in there, kind of unrelated, is I know I used to think I needed a lot of shampoo to get suds. Nowadays, people wash their hair less, right? So we don't wash it every day or every other day like we did back in the 80s because we had so much freaking hairspray we couldn't brush through our hair. Um, but what I've found is I start with a little bit of shampoo and lots of water. I scrub my head the first time. Usually there aren't much suds, but what it's doing, it's breaking down the dirt and the oils and all the crud. I do a light rinse and then I do another round of shampoo, and that's when I get the suds the second time around, because now that's all broken up and it's starting to release it and go down the drain. So usually wash twice, condition once, and remember the conditioner only goes on the mid-length to ends. You don't need it on your scalp. So I know that's hard sometimes, but that's the rule. And back to the curly girls. They do use more product than most, and I usually recommend that they use a good clarifying shampoo about every third or fourth wash too, or maybe each time before they start their regimen. So that's just a little tidbit. So let's talk about the third thing. We're only going to talk about 3 things today because there's so many things, but we're just going to talk about 3 things today. The third thing is minerals. Minerals and hard water. Where I live, it's really bad. And I didn't realize that. So about 10 years ago, I got a kidney stone and I went to the doctor and he said, yeah, this is really common around here because there's so many minerals in the water. And I thought, great, I'm drinking the water that's causing the problem. But anyway, I live in the Northwest on the Olympic Peninsula, and we're right on the Puget Sound. And so we do have a lot of minerals in the water here. Or well water. You may be on a well, or you may be out in the countryside with a well. Anyway, minerals build up on the hair. And most of the time, blondes notice it first. I remember when my daughter and I opened our salon and we were doing a lot of blonding, we would see these girls come back, 5-6 weeks later, and they were so brassy when they had been so beautiful when they left. And we knew we had lifted them to the right level, and yeah, the toner tends to fade, but we don't count on toner to completely change the hair. It's just to refine it. And these guys were coming back brassy. And after I dealt with that kidney stone thing, it started making me research the water in the area, and I found out that was our problem. These girls were their hair was grabbing the minerals. Now, blondes are obvious because you see the brassiness, you see the minerals in the hair. Brunettes, you might not see it, but everyone is going to feel it. Just like product buildup, minerals can build up on your hair, hard water can build up on your hair and choke it out. So that even if you're using the best ingredient products in the world, it can't get in there. So let's say your hair's dry and brittle, you buy a nice hydrating mask or, a moisture shampoo or whatever, and you're just not seeing much of a change. It's because your hair's choked out from the minerals. So there's a few things you can do if you're in one of those kind of areas. And you can get your water tested to see if it's an issue, or just ask around. Usually people that have been living there for a while will know. Or if you're on a well, guaranteed it's an issue. Number 1, you can get a shower head, and they're sold on Amazon. I'll link one below. I'm also going to link the products I recommended below. You can get a shower head or a filter that goes behind your shower head, and that will help eliminate a lot of the problem. The other thing you can do, and I recommend anyway, like I've said before, is a good clarifying shampoo. Malibu Sea makes a great hard water clarifying shampoo. So that's something you can do every 3 or 4 washes to keep those minerals at bay. And those clarifying shampoos, if it's a good one, won't hurt your color or anything. They just get the yuck out. Okay, get the buildup off, get the minerals out, that kind of thing. And another thing you can do if you're feeling like you're a baller, you can put in a soft water system or basically a filtration system into your whole household, and so that all the water coming out of the taps is less minerals. But that's expensive. So anyway, I would highly recommend, especially if you're a blonde, for the shower head and the clarifying shampoo. Every few shampoos, but everybody at the very least the clarifying shampoo. Every few shampoos to keep that at bay. Another thing you can do is ask your stylist when you go in. Let's say you go in every 8 weeks for a cut, or maybe every 6 to 8 weeks for color. Just ask them, can I have a hard water treatment while I'm here? It takes just an extra few minutes at the bowl. Malibu Sea makes a in-salon treatment that just strips all that crap out of your hair and only gets rid of the icky. It doesn't hurt your hair. It doesn't hurt your color or anything. So that's something I know I offer it. I know my daughter offers it. I'm sure a lot of salons offer it. That's for you salon people out there. It's the Malibu Sea hard water treatment. And Malibu Sea actually sells a kit too with the shampoo, conditioner, and the treatment as well. And I believe Malibu is available on Amazon, at Ulta. But better yet, support your stylists. I can't say enough that through the pandemic, back in the day, retail sales used to be huge for salons. That's where they made a lot of their money. But then through the pandemic, people started ordering online and blah, 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 blah. And retail sales, I think in almost every salon has dropped significantly because everything they sell is either bootlegged and sold online, or the manufacturers themselves, because the salons were closed, started selling online. But it'd be nice if our most loyal clients could buy through their stylist, because it's going to be the same price. Okay. It's going to be the same price. So don't think that you're getting a better deal if you're buying from the manufacturer, because we sell it for the same price they do. We should be. Anyway. Okay, so there you have it. How you're going to protect your hair. Now, this video is not just for my people getting their hair done that need to know how to help it. I want any other stylists that happen to see this video to jump in the comments below and give some recommendations of the products you like, because I've only named 3 here and there are so many brands. I could sit here and name stuff all day long. I just named 3 that I've happened to use and I've heard about, you know, that kind of thing. But I know there's so many brands, there's so many great products, and everyone has their favorites. I would love for you guys to go ahead and jump in the products and go ahead and at yourself so people can find your page, if that's something they can do, because people are looking for stylists all over the place. And if you put in there maybe your, you know, the name of your salon or your name, and maybe even, you know, how they can find you on Instagram or that kind of stuff, I am fine with that. I am fine with that, because I'm not here to make money off this page or sell you a particular product. I'm here just to give you some information to help your life be a little better. Understand? Okay, so I'm going to put links to everything I mentioned down below. And if you've liked this video, or maybe even found it a little entertaining, please hit the like, and please follow, and please subscribe, and please hit the bell, and again, leave a comment. You know, all the things. I always forget what they all are. But I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're having healthy hair. Thanks so much.